Well, one thing that has been outstanding has been Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, rookie. Pro Football Focus's top-graded linebacker. 89.8 is the rating. JOK, not really impressed by it, though. Here's Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
I mean, I don't really, I appreciate it. It means a lot, but necessarily, you don't really, too much harking on that. Just because it kind of puts you in a different world to which, you can see yourself as number one. As you see yourself as number one, the only way to go is, downward. So kind of just, harken and stay in the world that I'm in terms of.
Grades from your coaches? Or
we get grades, but, those grades don't really necessarily, depict a certain part of the game. It's more of an overall performance, so.
And Hayden, I want to see more of this guy on the field. There are some things that he does that we haven't seen Browns linebackers do in quite a few years. And I think the more they are willing to give him, the more he's going to be willing to take.
Yeah, he's just a guy that's not your prototypical NFL linebacker. I mean, these guys are kind of different these days, and he's super fast. He gets to he sheds blockers well. He gets to the backfield well, tackles really well, which is the most important thing. Again, linebackers in Cleveland, we've been accustomed to a lot of the linebackers who don't tackle well, and Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah certainly isn't one of those. Even though he's a little bit smaller, a little bit, not as big as an imposing linebacker, as you're kind of used to in the NFL, he gets the job done. And you're right. I want to see more. I want to see more design blitzes, delayed blitzes for him. I want to see him in coverage. I want to see him just making those, big time tackles that he's able to make. And Cleveland might have really found themselves to steal here with Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. And not only, again, a very smart player, very cerebral player, but also incredibly athletic and gets the job done in the tackling department, which is most important.
The other thing is I'm not criticizing Joe Woods for the way he's brought him along either. I thought his plan was smart. Make sure he's comfortable with what we need him to do here before we start blitzing him, before we start doing. I think that's the right way to go with a guy that can do so many things. Make sure he's comfortable with the fundamentals, and then we'll get as crazy as we can with what we do with him.
Yeah, I mean, you look at him, and because he's such a Swiss Army knife and can do so many things. Again, he's a good coverage linebacker, he's a good tackler. Again, just so athletic. You could overwhelm him with a lot of stuff. You could overwhelm him with so much in the playbook. You could overwhelm him with just all the things you wanted to do. But at that point, he would probably be running around like a chicken with his head cut off and not really, focusing on the things that he needs to focus on the play at hand. So I really applaud Joe Woods. I applaud the entire defensive staff for giving Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah just enough that he can handle each week. And so he can just dominate that certain assignment, right? Instead of having 10,000 things he's thinking about and 10,000 things he needs to do, focus on his assignment, do it really, really well as he has. He will continue to progress and to, be able to handle more on his plate as he goes along.
The other thing that was really impressive against the Vikings, I thought he was able to play off blocks. That was the area that I was concerned because he is a little undersized, but he was not, linemen were not running him over, which if that continues, he's going to be an all-pro for a long time with his speed and the way he tackles.
Yeah, that's the best thing about a linebacker is his ability to shed a block. He was asked today about, the fact that he eludes blocks. He doesn't shed them, he eludes them, and he finds his way past them without even getting touched. But sometimes that can be a problematic thing because you're supposed to, you want to be in a certain area and you don't want to get too far away from it. So I think he'll continue to grow in the pass shedding or the block shedding, and he'll continue to be just very elusive, which will get him a lot of sacks. And if he continues to have great coaching around him and to continues to learn and continues to be the sponge that he is, I think, again, the sky is the limit for what this guy can be for your football team.